Penn State just got an offensive line commit from Michigan for 2026. That makes 18 hard commits. Your thoughts about him in particular and anything else that's going on with, of course, that first week of June being that huge first official visits weekend?
Yeah, I will start with the player you mentioned. I apologize now if I butcher the last name, but Benjamin, I believe it's Izuka, Eziuka. He's a kid who's a consensus 3-star, but he camped at Penn State last summer, earned the initial offer, really wanted to commit to Penn State. The coaching staff basically gave him a list. Hey, here's what you need to work on if the commit here. He worked on it, improved, camped again this past weekend, absolutely killed it. Just was incredibly impressive at camp. And now is a part of the class. So I think it's always pretty telling when you have kids who camp to earn that offer, especially that committable offer, because the staff's already seen them in action, in person, running through certain drills, running through things they know are going to translate to what they want. And B, when a kid really wants to be at a school, and, a lot of kids in recruiting, if a coaching staff tells you, hey, we're not ready to take your commitment yet, we want to see you work on X, Y, and Z, then come talk to us, they'll just move on to the next school. And he didn't. He went and worked on X, Y, and Z, and now is part of their class. So I think that's always very telling. Again, when a kid does what he needs to do, is presented in by coaching staff, that speaks volumes to their work ethic, obviously, as well as their desire to be at that school. And again, I think it's very beneficial to get kids into a camp setting, get them to work out for you in person, and then you make that offer, take that commitment, because you really know what you're getting at that point. You mentioned the class as a whole. Like you said, currently 18 commits, arrivals. We have it as the fifth best class in the country right now. Another busy official visit weekend coming up. And they have a lot of irons in the fire yet. They've already hosted probably their 2 remaining targets on the board for this cycle. Joey O'Brien, a safety from LaSalle College High School in Philadelphia, same high school as Abdul Carter, as well as Kari Adams, a cornerback from Maryland, both borderline 5-star players. I mean, they both have a couple official visits left to take, but right now Penn State appears to be the leader for both of them. 2 big fish on the board. They're going to want to take another running back. Messiah Mickens is the only running back in this class right now. Now, he's a good back. He's the second highest rated player in the class from Harrisburg. We did like another running back. Defensive line, you're always working. Huge weekend coming up on the defensive line. Luke Wafel, who, again, borderline 5-star guy, the younger brother of Penn State defensive lineman Owen Wafel will be in town. Carter Meadows, who some places have as a top 5 recruit in the country, another defensive lineman going to be in town for a visit, as well as Tyson Hurley, a high school teammate of Meadows. And they both go to Gonzaga, which is a school with Olu Fashion, as an example, has been really good at Penn State over the years. So it'll be a big weekend for Deion Barnes and the defensive line staff this weekend. But yeah, the class is coming along really nice. Like I said, Rivals, we currently have it ranked 5th nationally. I think all 3 of the big recruiting sites have it in the top 10. Couple big fish still out there. I mentioned a few by name. Probably going to look at another offensive lineman. Marlon Bright is a guy who officially visited this past weekend. He's going to commit July 5th. There's some belief, maybe he may already be a silent commit and he just wants to stick to that July 5th plan. I think he has like a family barbecue or something he's wanting to commit at. So, they're going to want another offensive lineman, but he could be it, another running back. You never take too many guys in the trenches. And, this is really shaping up to be one of the better classes James Franklin has had. And it's kind of funny because in Penn State, the joke has been the 4-year cycles for Franklin. 2018 was at the time the highest rated class he ever signed. That was Micah Parsons highlighted that one. 2022, then depending on who you ask, maybe surpass that. I said I always lean 22 slightly because of Drew Aller being in it over Will Levis in the 2018 class. In that 2022 class, Drew Aller, Abdul Carter, Katron Allen, Denai Dennis Sutton, Nick Singleton. That's going to probably go down as one of the best recruiting classes in school history. And now here we are talking the 2026 class where, again, they're in that position, maybe sign top 5 class. So something about every 4 years, I guess, these recruiting classes. But I think it also helps when, you were one play away from going to the national championship game last year, and you're getting a lot of preseason, maybe number 1 buzz. That doesn't hurt on the recruiting trail either. So, yeah, a couple big official visit recruiting weekends left before the dead period in July. But, the staff, as they always do, are killing it on the recruiting trail. There are a few staffs who, in terms of their ability to just recruit and work with families, do it better than Penn State.
Marty, is there anybody out there that may not necessarily be a 4 or 5-star, just somebody that you really like that you hope Penn State gets, might be flying under the radar, that based on, I know you're a recruiting guy and you coach football, so maybe somebody that stood out to you that may not get the ranking that they have earned at this point?
Yeah, I'll go with 2 guys I mentioned. I'll start with Bright. We have him as a 3-star at Rivals. Some place have him as 3 stars, some have him as a 4-star, but he's a guy who's not not garnering a lot of attention, but I like him a lot on the offensive line. I think that, first off, with what Phil Troutwine has done with this offensive line, I tell people all the time, if you don't have the full trust in Phil Troutwine, I don't know what to tell you at this point. I mean, the guy's turned down NFL jobs. He turned down Alabama. I mean, other places want him. He's very good. But Bright, he's 6'6" already, 270 pounds. He has that reach. He has that length for tackle. That is so important. And that's the kind of stuff you can't teach, right? You got it or you don't. And he has it at tackle. I really like him. And I also mentioned Tyson Harley in passing. I think somewhat he gets overlooked, being a teammate of Carter Meadows, who, again, in some places he's a top 5 recruit in the country. But Harley, again, 6'4", pretty explosive off the edge. Plays at Gonzaga College in Washington, D.C., and anyone who knows East Coast football, Gonzaga plays as tough a schedule as anybody. So to do it against competition, he's done it again. He's another guy I like a lot. So those are two guys who I think are more of the underrated aspects, 3 stars in some places that I think are, very high on Penn State's board, probably higher than some people may realize, that I think the staff would be very happy to land.